I was looking over your book, Trust Repair. Is it possible? And what's really interesting, and I know that I had this thought, and the reason why I just thought you'd be such a good guest is because how much trust is woven through so much of what it is that we do.
Well, I think communication is paramount with just about any subject, right? But I think that when it comes to the branding and the alignment with trust is, am I bringing my authentic self to all aspects of the communication process with others?
Back in the 90s, there were all these rah things where you have Lou Holtz and all these people flying around the country. And there was not one successful person that would speak from stage that wouldn't tell you about how how many times they had failed and what position they were in that was negative before the meteoric rise. So I think just finding ways to relate to people, because if you come across as thinking you're the expert and you can't relate to people, you're probably not going to.
If I'm just being asked to make some adjustments, I can do this. If we think that they're asking us to change, somehow that trips up our ego, thinking, well, you're asking me to do something that's not me. I'm not being my authentic self. And that's not really the case. So if we look at it like, I just need to make some adjustments to work better with this client, to communicate better with this audience, to manage this differently. And I would suspect that you and Glenn do the same thing. You're helping people with small adjustments that's going to make their presence that much stronger.
It kind of sounds a little bit like, yeah, you're kind of telling me to eat my vegetables, but when you make it into a story that includes trust, now I'm getting a little sweet sauce with those vegetables.
How am I listening to the client? How am I listening to what their intention is? I could shine on stage. There are many gifted speakers, but perhaps working with them behind the scenes, are they as congruent behind the scenes with how people experience them in the same way they are perhaps on the stage?
Kind of as Paul was saying, if you can make it to where a fifth grader can understand it, everyone will understand it, and they'll remember it longer.